How does he not know that Davante Adams is thinking about leaving when he decides to stay put? And you had everybody saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers was fully aware when he made his decision. No, he wasn't. What they said, he was aware when he signed his contract. Yeah, because he didn't sign his contract until a week after he decided to come back. He wasn't aware that Davante Adams was leaving when he made his decision to stay, which means he was assuming that the Packers were going to work it out with him, which means he has to be upset and disappointed at some level that he's not there.
Of course it does.
And this gets back to what we've been saying. There's still dysfunction between Aaron Rodgers and the front office, even though he decided to stay.
Yeah, it shows it. I mean, it shows a little bit. It shows a little bit of all of it, really. You know, maybe the Rodgers front office little lack of communication, just dysfunction. And then to me, the other thing it shines a light on, Mike, is, I think you heard me say this a little bit during the break, like, I'm just shocked at the lack of communication. A little bit by Lamar Jackson, that he doesn't even realize Hollywood Brown asked for a trade. And he's on social media going, how do we trade the guy? And he wanted out of there, dude. That's what he didn't want to be there. That's why they traded him. Come on. Don't you talk to – I'm shocked that these guys don't talk to the receivers more and have more of a feeling of what is going on. I think that's what I'm more shocked about with anything, is that just Rodgers is the communication and the friendship not on the level for Davante Adams to go, oh wait, yeah, thanks for being honest with me, Rodgers. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like that crap up in Green Bay. I'm getting the hell out of here. Obviously, the relationship wasn't at the point to where he told him that. That, to me, is shocking. Well, that's where it's like, it doesn't happen with Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or those guys.
And Adams has said that he spent time in the offseason talking to Derek Carr.
I know.
Conspiring and planning. So while Aaron Rodgers is doing his vision quest for, he's so, hey, and folks, this is what happens. You get so caught up in your own stuff. There's other stuff going on right under your nose that you don't know about. And we've seen Aaron Rodgers very immersed in self-reflection, and that's fine. But he lost sight of what Davante Adams did and didn't want, and he took that relationship for granted.
Yeah.
Because while Aaron Rodgers was sucking up all the attention and all the oxygen by making him the focal point, Davante Adams decided, I'm out. I'm done. See ya. And the fact that he didn't tell him tells me that he no longer valued the relationship the way that he should have. Because at a minimum, you got to say to Aaron Rodgers, hey, Aaron, you know what? As you're making your decision, you need to know something.
Yes, exactly.
You need to know something very important.
Right.
I'm not going to be here.
Right.
So do with that whatever you will as you decide on your future, but I'm not going to be here. So you may want to think twice about whether or not you're going to stay, because I'm not. Now, let's go. Get the picture ready of me with short sleeve dress shirt and smoking a cigarette. If Aaron would have ended up in Denver, if he left, Davante Adams did the Raiders a favor. Although, I don't know, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, you could argue. I would take Aaron Rodgers over Russell Wilson, all things being equal for the short term.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to sell this idea that Adams did it on purpose. But if you don't tell Aaron Rodgers, then he doesn't go somewhere else where you may have to face him with a better team.
Oh, I hear you.
Than if you have to deal with him as a member of the Packers.
Right.
We don't have to deal with him on the Broncos now.
Yeah, stay where you are.
If I'd have told him I was leaving,
right,
maybe he would have left for the Broncos. That's my point.
That would be next level. I mean, that would be pretty amazing. And
there it is.
It's not the craziest conspiracy ever, actually. And I think there's actually a little logic behind this one.
Well,
there.
especially if Derek Carr's saying to him, "Hey, don't tell Aaron."
Yeah, right.
Don't tell Aaron.
We don't want to deal with him in this division. Let's try to win the division.
Because they almost traded him to the Broncos last year.
Yeah.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers playing for the Broncos? Okay, then don't tell him. And again, who knows?
Maybe,
who knows?
But
But you hit the nail on the head. How are these guys not communicating better with their receivers? How does Lamar Jackson not know Hollywood Brown wants out? How does Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers not end up on the same page, with Rodgers not knowing that Adams wants out? That's amazing to me. And those relationships are so important, not just on the field. They're important as it relates to these ever-changing business realities of the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt, no question about it. And that's just it's amazing. Green Bay, there they are. They probably were saying, "Hey, we're gonna be fine sitting here in the early 20s. We'll get one of the receivers we want here." And then they must have been like having a heart attack watching these guys go off the board one after another. And then the fact that they get there, which, listen, I thought Green Bay made 2 unbelievable selections. Unbelievable. I love both of those guys. Quay Walker was my second favorite linebacker in the draft. Davante Wyatt, to me, was a top 10 pick. He's got some off-the-field things. That's why he's down there at 28. But the picks were great. But nonetheless, they need a receiver, like you talked about. And the really, really good ones, there's only, like, in my opinion, a few left here that can really help their football team for day 2. And, they're in a little bit of a bind at the wide receiver position.
And it got very interesting because you had the Packers at 22 and 28.
Right.
And you had the Chiefs at 29 and 30. So, and this is something that I'd been talking about, and I wrote something about it last night before round 1. You get an interesting dance here between the Packers and the Chiefs to try to get in position to get a receiver, because the Packers are at 22, and do they try to trade up before the Chiefs cut the line? And look what happened. The Chiefs cut the line. The Chiefs moved into the 21 spot. The only problem was there weren't any receivers left to take, at least not the high-end receivers.
Right.
So the Chiefs trade up to take cornerback Trent McDuffie, and frankly, I think they were trading up to get in front of the Bills. I think the Bills would have taken Trent McDuffie if he was still hanging around.
I think you're exactly
in that
right.
spot.
100%.
They traded up to 23 to take a corner instead. I think that's who they were really trying to jump there. But it did create a couple moments of, the Chiefs are going to stick it to the Packers. But the Chiefs took 2 defensive players. The Packers took 2 defensive players. And now they both wait and continue to wait to see whether or not they get receivers. And I saw somebody tweet last night, hey, Packers fans, don't worry. Jordy Nelson was a second-round pick. Davante Adams was a second-round pick. None of those guys came in with the expectation that they're the number 1 receiver. The Packers are clearly in need of a number 1 receiver. Rodgers' comments last night underscore that. He thought Adams was going to be there. They need a number 1 receiver. Sammy Watkins isn't it. Randall Cobb isn't it. Alan Lazard isn't it. What are they going to do to go get themselves a number 1 receiver tonight? Or are they going to go try to get a Deebo Samuel? Rodgers talked about that last night, too, but there's no way the 49ers are trading Deebo Samuel or the Packers.
Exactly right. There's just no way that's going to happen. I mean, and if I'm Deebo Samuel, I'm not even sure I want to go there. Just what? Like to go there and Aaron Rodgers leaves in a year or 2, and then you go, well, crap, I'm here for 5 more years on a big contract. What the hell? So I don't see that being a thing. I think in my heart of hearts, and you've heard me say this, Shanahan's going to go down swinging trying to keep Deebo Samuel. He's not going to let that go easily. There's a lot of reasons to not. You've talked about it. The proven commodity. He's just starting to hit the tip of the iceberg of how great of a player. And then the Trey Lance aspect, and he'd be the guy that's going to make things the easiest for him. So, yeah, I mean, Green Bay, too, where they're sitting, right? I mean, I'm trying to remember their second-round picks here. Pick 59. I don't think they got pick 53 as well. I would think they're going to be a team that's going to be looking to make a move here to start the second round, a little bit just because of the things we just said. To me, a lot of the good receivers are gone. Now you're getting into guys that Christian Watson, I think, is a stud, a star. He's my second favorite receiver. He's one of those guys that I think is being misevaluated, like a DK Metcalf or a Chase Claypool or A.J. Brown in the second round. That's what he is. But I don't think he's going to be sitting there at 53. They better move up. Him or Sky Moore are the 2 receivers that are, I think, the prized possessions of the second round. And there's going to be teams at the top of the second that like them. So Green Bay, I would think, is going to have to make a move to go get to one of those guys. And it's unreal. The Chiefs aren't as desperate. The Chiefs, you look at their receivers, Mike, we just go, well, we think they're going to be so elite there, they might add another guy. But I don't have a problem with them, as much as Green Bay, because, hey, it's still got McCole Hardman and Travis Kelce and Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster, and I think I'm missing somebody else. So that's still a real damn good group there. Green Bay, on the other hand, like you said, it's
It echoes what we said at the time those trades happened. When the Packers lose Davante Adams and the Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill, even though Hill, you and I would agree, is better than Davante Adams, some would disagree, and that's fine, but Hill is better than Davante Adams. We were more concerned about the Packers losing Adams than we were the Chiefs losing Hill, even though Hill is better than Adams. That really doesn't make sense on the surface, but we have greater faith in the broader structure and system in Kansas City. They got Travis Kelce. the Packers don't. And all that talk of Darren Waller, I really do think that was to placate Aaron Rodgers, because that door has been slammed repeatedly. Right. It was slammed by Mark Davis. It was slammed by Darren Waller. It was slammed by Derek Carr, and last night it was slammed by Josh McDaniels. I think that talk was, and now that we hear Aaron Rodgers speaking about Davante Adams, I'm telling you, and again, I'm not trying to create drama for the sake of creating drama. I'm trying to interpret the events and come to conclusions about what we think may or could or is actually happening. I think that they were putting that out there. I think the Packers were putting that out there because they still got a problem with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all.
He isn't happy that Davante Adams is gone.
Right. I'm with you. Or that they haven't been able to get anybody else. And then, like, Davante Adams is gone, and they can't even get Marquez Valdes-Scantling back. I mean, he's got to be frustrated. There's no doubt. I thought that was all that kind of BS too, Mike. I'm with you. I mean, Josh McDaniels, as we discussed earlier this week, he's a tight end whisperer. I mean, he's one of the few coordinators in all of football that understands how to screw over defenses with the tight end. That to me, I just never believed it. And I think you're right, Mike. The more time that goes on, it was just something out there to make Rodgers feel a little bit better.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.